There is one thing that every runner should do before their big race. Whether that race be a 100 miler or a 50 miler, a 50K, a marathon, a half marathon, or even a 5K, you should do this one thing to help set you up to achieve your goal and get that mission done. And that is a simulation run, a true simulation run. Now you might think, well, every single time I go out on a long run or a longer training like workout, I'm doing simulation runs. But if you've ever done a race before, especially ultra marathons, you know there's a lot more gear that you end up bringing with you, or you end up swapping out certain things the day before just because of necessity or travel or whatever mandatory kit is required for you to carry on those races. So it is so important to do these simulation runs so then you know how your gear is going to act, how your body's going to act, if there's extra weight in your pack, how it's going to rub on your chest, and how you're going to be able to properly manipulate this gear that you're going to have on your body. Are you going to be able to reach it properly? Is it going to chafe you once again? Or are you going to have enough fuel for the terrain? And during these simulation runs, I really focus on three big things, and that is my gear that I'm going to be running with, the nutrition that I'm going to be eating or taking during the race, and then the terrain and how everything interacts with the terrain that the race is actually going to be on. Because for the most part, people don't actually live on the race course, so it is very important to try to simulate that race terrain as close as possible for these runs. So then you can really narrow down how your gear, your nutrition, your body, your stride, your pace, your shoes, your everything reacts to that race course terrain. So that's enough jibber jabber. Let's get into the actual run and see how the simulation run went. All right, so I got here way freaking later than expected. I actually drove all the way down and then I forgot my wallet, and you have to pay for this park. So yeah, I had to turn around, grab my wallet, confer with the wife, and make sure that, you know, being out here way later is okay. But we're all good to go, and we're just gonna pack up. Once again, this is gonna be a full battle rattle, our full freaking packed up. So everything that I'm gonna pretty much be carrying for the race, if not more, I have in my pack right now. So I have way more than I have in my pack. But it is important to do this just to make sure that there's no rub points, there's no problems with the gear that you're actually working on. So I'm fully like torture testing all my stuff right now. It's raining out, which is good because, you know, the whole pollen thing with me. And then it makes it a little bit harder. So then hopefully on race day, it's just the heat that I have to deal with. So I'm gonna start packing everything in. I have pockets on pockets, so I have my kit, I have the naked belt on, and then I have these John G shorts. So I have a lot of storage in everything, and I'm just gonna be loading up. I basically have enough fluid now for about 3 to 4 hours. So I'll probably be only carrying like 2 hours worth of stuff during the race, just because of aid stations and everything like that. But this is the whole loadout. So I have 2 here, 2 in the back, and I'll have 1 in my naked belt also, just for extra. And then I have 6 of these. These are 40 grams of carbs each. So I packed a little bit more just in case I start running out of water and need more fluid. But what I'm really focusing on today is pumping in a lot of carbs all at once, or a lot of carbs per hour. So about 90 to 110 carbs, and making sure that my stomach and everything can fully handle it for multiple hours straight. So I'll probably be out here for 3 to 4 hours, and I just want to make sure that my stomach will be good. I've been testing it for my other long runs that are around 2 to 3 hours. So just kind of doing one last check one last check with the carbs, one last check with all the gear before the race. And then if I start getting cold, I'll have my weatherproof jacket with me in the back also. I'll probably be carrying this with me for the 50 miler also, because it does start at night, and even in June it gets a little cold during the nighttime. Also, once again, I have everything that I'm going to be carrying with me for the race, even my headlamp, even though I won't probably be using it. Alright, so let's get going. Alright, so that was weird. I started on the trail and I had the course on my GPS. I had the course on my GPS watch, and for some reason it was just taking me in circles over and over again. So I got 9 miles in. Instead of just like kind of trying to figure out my way back, I just routed back to the start point, so then I can try to figure out what the fuck happened on my watch and actually go back on the course. So instead of doing the full lap, instead of doing the full course like I wanted to, I guess I'll leave it to surprise, which is kind of, I don't know if it's better, but at the very least I'm gonna get some time on trail. I already did the first half 2 weeks ago, and I'll try to get the back half. I'll go probably around 7 miles on the course in reverse, and then just turn around and then hit it again in reverse. So kind of annoying, but the course that I took back had a lot of elevation, and I got some good movement in on the course anyways, so it is what it is. I'm just gonna fuel up. Take my first hour of nutrition, and then I'll get back on the course. So it is, so that's of course part of trail running. You just kind of gotta adapt and overcome. I could have easily just turned around and went back home, but I have a very specific goal, and I want some time on this course. So just kind of resetting, readapting, and then going back out there. The one thing that has been annoying with this pack is with my 600 milliliter bottles, they kind of bounce around and try to bounce out of the pack. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I can actually situate my bottles, how I can actually situate my bottles where they're not bouncing around so aggressively. Maybe I can put the 500 milliliter bottles in the front, and then I'll keep the 600 milliliter bottles in the back. Strategically place my calories however I need to, where maybe the ones with 200 calories of tailwind will be up front, so I'll know those have more carbs, 50 grams of carbs in each bottle. And then when I need more fluid or just clean water, or maybe just 1 scoop of tailwind, those will be the bottles in the back. That might be the best case scenario, because this is the 500 milliliter bottle right here. It sits in there nicely and it won't bounce out. And then this is the 600 milliliter bottle. I had to like drink some water out of it and then stuff it in. But then when it's full, it's like this, which is fine when you're running on regular pavement or on a bike trail or a really groomed trail. But then when there's deep declines and inclines, it bounces out and it wants to slide out of it. So that's pretty annoying. But I'll just adapt and overcome. Adapt and overcome. All right, so let's get back out there. I'm not sure how on-course footage will look because it's raining out, but I'll see what I can get out there. All right, let's go. All right, so we are about 14 miles in, 5 miles on this watch stoppage because of a missed route, but moving a lot slower now because the trail is very slippery. I got on these new Nova Blast trails, and even with other shoes, I think I'll be slipping around anyways just because of the nature of the trail. It's like pretty hard packed, but then there's like a layer of mud on top of it, so you slip on the little layer and then the hard packed is stable, so you're slipping on the surface, which is pretty shitty on the declines, but still moving, still getting some work in. Nutrition is going good. Got in about 100 grams of carbs right now and about a liter of fluids. It's been raining this entire time, so I started to get chilly when I started moving slow, but not to the point where I actually need the rain jacket yet. Other than that, going good. Legs definitely are feeling the block. They're definitely asking me to start tapering. So after this week, and maybe a little bit of next week, I'm definitely gonna start tapering. Because my legs are tired. They just feel fatigued. So I'll give them a proper amount of taper for this 50 miler, which will end up being about 2 full weeks of a taper. And that's just going down to like 80 miles a week. And then on the race week, I'll go down quite a bit more. So yeah, gonna keep moving down this trail and see what I can do. But definitely not the run I wanted. I wanted to move a little bit faster on this trail, but it is what it is. It really seems like that's the whole concept of today. Just adapt and overcome. Make sure you get your work done, but make sure that you don't just call it quits because things are going your way. Now, if you have sharp pain or something crazy, an injury, a sickness, be smart. But if it's just minor inconvenience, like forgetting your wallet, going in circles for 9 miles straight, or the trail being slippery, you still have to make sure that you stay consistent and overcome, because that might happen during race day. You know, not every race day is gonna be awesome. You're not gonna be able to get your favorite breakfast, or you might forget some of your gear, or it might be raining just like it is right now. So at least I have some experience on this course where to be very careful and where I can actually open up how my heart rate is being affected by sliding around on this trail and how my pace is being effective, so I can make good judgment calls on my nutrition and the type of gear that I'm actually running based on the environment, the trail condition, and everything else. So
we're learning a lot. Gotta figure out in every situation you're in, you gotta figure out the good and figure out the lessons that you can get from each and every run. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna keep moving down this trail and see how many miles we can actually get today before I have to head back home and spend some time with the babies and the wife. All right, let's go. All right, so we are 8.5 miles in, or 17.5 miles total. Just going up this little gravel road, and then we're gonna start heading back to the car. About an hour 30 minutes in, or 2 hours and 30 minutes, or 2 hours and 40 minutes total. So trying to get around 3.5 to 4 hours of total work. So that will end up hitting that time goal perfectly, and then should be able to get around 25 miles total with about 2,000, 3,000 feet of elevation gain. I guess we'll see at the end, but things are going well. Legs are really, really freaking tired. They're just shot. Like, my heart rate isn't going up, but it just feels like my legs won't turn on. And it might have been a little lack of dehydration for the past couple of days, or some bullshit food that I've been eating.
All right, so I was editing this video, and for some reason on the Insta360 camera, the audio just absolutely blanked out for the rest of the clip. So the on-course dialogue of our jammering that I would have been doing, it had nothing. So I'm just talking to a camera for no freaking reason. But what I was getting at on this clip was my nutrition was going really well. At this point, I had about 220 grams of carbs in my system and 2 liters of fluid also, because I was drinking the 500 milliliter flask and the 600 milliliter flask, and I was going through those bottles really well. And the technique of shotgunning one bottle and then sipping on the other bottle was really working, and it helped my stomach actually process all those carbs and all that liquid instead of just, you know, dumping a whole liter of liquid, a whole liter plus of liquid into my system. So that nutrition plan has been really helping me with more carbs and more fluid. You know, my body felt like it was properly fed, and I had the excess energy to actually keep moving and stay at a stable pace. The only thing is my legs were like dead. They were shot. I mean, I know, as I was saying in the video, that it was time for taper because my legs just would not turn on. And that's what I was getting at the end of this clip, was basically that's a really good indication of it's time to taper or time to take a down week or an absorption week when your body just feels like it doesn't want to turn on, like it's like just way too full of fatigue and it doesn't want to turn on your long runs or on some of your key workouts. That's probably a good indication to start tapering, or just, hey, relax and take an absorption week, reduce your mileage by like 20-30% and just take a week off so then you can get back at it hard as fuck. All right, so the run is complete. That was a freaking slog fest. Ended up getting like 26.4 miles total, like 4 hours and 40 minutes. So definitely not as fast as I wanted to go, but just rewinding everything that I actually got out of this run, I'm actually pretty happy, because if there is rain on the course, I definitely need to rethink my shoes and I need to rethink my pack of exactly what I'm going to carry and what I'm going to put in my drop bags mostly, because definitely going to bring a little bit more wet weather gear, because you get completely saturated with water here. And then hopefully I can do some treatment on my rain jacket that I have currently. So I think what I'll do is, how's it going? No. I'm just that stupid.
Just not necessarily, dissolve greatness.
Yeah.
Not at all. Well, you sir, you have a great night.
You're
safe, sir. Thanks for coming out. Look forward to seeing you
yeah.
on the OSS.
Thank you so much. Just had to talk some shit with one of the park rangers, but yeah, completely got destroyed, and just gonna head back home, get some food, look at all the data, and see how much more or what I actually have to work on, what I can squeak in before the race. I mean, it's about 2.5 weeks left, so basically all I really have to do is taper. I think I can narrow down some of the packing and some of the gear, but basically all the work has been done. I mean, if I went out for another really long run, I don't think it will help me at all for the actual race, but I think it's pretty much, yeah. I mean, this is a pretty good indication. My body's pretty much telling me that it is freaking time to taper. It is time to start relaxing. Next week will probably be just as much volume, just way less intensity. So not as much on the trails, more on the treadmill, on the bike paths, just keeping, the motion is lotion, keeping all the joints happy, keeping all the muscles happy, putting in a little bit of speed work just to keep that that activation in my muscles and everything like that. Try to get these legs to wake the fuck up. Another thing that is really good to do is bring a change of clothes when you're out on trail runs and stuff, just to keep your car happy. I'm using my wife's car, so I pretty much have to do that, or else she'll literally stab me in my sleep. But it just makes you feel better. It makes it feel like you're not just suffering on the ride back, and then you can stop and get some drinks and get some snacks if you want to at stores without, thinking everybody thinking that you're a psychotic monster that's about to freaking go crazy inside of a store or something. But bringing a change of clothes, it's almost like a little reward at the end of your run. I strongly recommend you guys give it a shot. So let's get back into the office, check out the data, and then we'll close this video out. All right.